is good, YouTube? Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis coming to you with a quick video. I wanted to let you guys know I got some new merchandise available, not just t-shirt anymore. I got different type of t-shirt, different type of shirts and logos that you can purchase on my spread shirt, and also hoodies now. We have expanded and added more to the channel and more merchandise for the brand. Thanks for supporting. It will be in the description and the links will be in the comment section below. Thanks for helping me and supporting the movement. Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis. I'm going. What is good, YouTube? Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis coming to y'all with a quick video. Today we're going to talk about the New York Knicks, a team that so many people has criticized. So many people have given up on them as fans. And sometimes it just look ugly out there for them. As you see, their roster is very young. They got a lot of guys they're trying to develop and hopefully can turn into a superstar like Kevin Knox. They saying that they already given up on Kevin Knox, which I think is a mistake just because he showed that he can be a capable shooter and he was a guy that was real raw, and we all knew that even when he got drafted he was told that he was raw. And then you look at Dennis Smith Jr. Didn't really work out in New York. He has a game where he looks amazing, then he disappeared for the rest of the year. Really looks like a bust. You have Frank Ntilikina, who looks like he can just use a fresh start on another team, and he hasn't really been utilized and used anyway with the Knicks. And I think you can package a lot of these young players and try to get a quality starter or all-star. I think that will put them on a better trajectory. Instead of having a bunch of guys that don't fit, you just can't just build a roster like this. Even with R.J. Barrett, when you look at R.J. Barrett, he was one of the best players in that draft, but he doesn't really fit their style of play. He doesn't really fit how they score. You're surrounded by a bunch of people that can't shoot, and you can't shoot. It's like, I don't know what's going on with the Knicks, but my job today is to help them get a great draft pick that they can really set their franchise in a different direction. I do think that these players are assets because they do have potential and they are very young. And even though they haven't played as well, none of them really has major significant injuries. The only problem is they haven't developed the way you will want, but they're still very young. They're all under 25 years old. So you can keep them around. You can trade them for other players that you might be interested in. You can trade them for an all-star caliber player because you are a team that's bad and you do have a top pick in this draft and possibly the next couple. And I think that they should try to accelerate this thing a little bit just because they have been terrible with developing talent for years. And one of the things that they did when they had some young talent, they turned it in Carmelo, and they was able to pick up Amari, which didn't win them a title, but it made them the most competitive that they've really been in the last 25 years, which is unfortunate because they showing you how hard it is to get an NBA championship, which I keep trying to tell you guys. But other than that, I look at Cole Anthony. Cole Anthony is a guy that's not a pass-first guy. A guy that likes to score and put a lot of pressure on the defense because he handles the ball. He's always moving. He's always probing a little bit outside of 15 and around that 20-foot range, making him always a threat. And one thing that a lot of people won't know is, like, if you watch the Knicks games, that's one of their problems. Alfred Payton is not really and never really has been an aggressive offensive point guard. Dennis Smith Jr. doesn't have the shooting ability to really bend and fold defenses and really help and make his teammates' job easier. And then you also have the fact that R.J. Barrett likes to handle the ball, but he just don't have the shooting ability from the three-point line or even the mid-range line. And he can't really even finish at the rim at this point of his career. And he looks like a guy that looks decent sometimes, but he also looks like a guy that's lost out there. And you can really say that about majority of the Knicks players right now that's young. They just haven't figured it out, and they playing at a level that they're not ready for. But at the same time, that's why you develop them so they can be ready in years to come. But other than that, I look at some guys in this draft that can really help the Knicks with finding an offensive identity. To me, they just got a bunch of young players that don't fit with each other, that don't play well with each other. And I don't think LaMelo Ball would be a good fit there just because he's another guy that has a losing mentality, not really trying to rotate, not really trying to play hard defensively, taking bad shots, can be selfish from time to time. I don't think that he had helped this team just because he fits into the same problem and he needs the ball in his hands, and so do a lot of the other players like Dennis Smith Jr., like guys like R.J. Barrett, and I don't think he'd be a good fit there. And then you look at the fact that Anthony Edwards is another guy that can be a streaky scorer, streaky shooter, but he does have the body, but he doesn't really fit with what they should be trying to do offensively. And then you look at another guy that can possibly be a good pick for them, which is Cole Anthony, who can solve a lot of the problems that they have if you put the right talent and go in a different direction, because it's a lot of guards in this draft that have potential to be all stars years from now, not currently, but years from now. And they don't really need another shooting guard because they just drafted R.J. Barrett. Now, if you draft another shooting guard because that's best talent available, that fits the same mold that I just said, which you're collecting a bunch of talent to probably flip it into a better piece. Just because you don't need a bunch of guys that's young and a bunch of guys that don't fit, and you don't need a bunch of guys that really ain't contributing to winning. And they haven't really done that in years since they lost Carmelo Anthony and Porzingis. So they're in a tough spot where they don't have a franchise guy. And a lot of the players on their roster right now don't look like they will become one anytime soon. So they're going to be stuck as a bad team for a long time. That's why I think they should flip some of these assets and try to get another proven player and then put pieces around that guy, just because they don't literally have a pathway. They don't really have an identity as a team. They don't really have the hard nose, the winning culture, because they've been losing so much and they have so much dysfunction in the front office and also dysfunction as a team, just because this is just one of the worst, and they've been like that for years. So I think Cole Anthony is a guy that Greg Anthony knows New York. He knows how to play. He can really be in his son ear to not be distracted, to put work and hooping first over clubbing, partying, and stuff like that. Because if you want to be great, you want to become a hard worker, and you really want to work hard just to be able to pass these guys up and get the best out of yourself. So when I look at Cole Anthony, he fits a lot of the stuff that they're missing. A guy that can score, a guy that can really be an outside shooter, a guy that can, make plays from time to time, even though he's not the greatest passer, he's not the greatest decision maker at this point of his career, but he's better than a lot of point guards that they have now, because most of them can't shoot and most of them don't really scare you outside of the 3 point line or even in that 15 to 20 foot range. And Cole Anthony can do those things already. Plus, that helps guys like Mitchell Robinson, because if you got a guy that can score and a guy that can really make them pick their poison, what they want to give up, it will allow him to roll and will allow him to get easy opportunities, which means he can possibly be a starter with a guy like Cole Anthony. He can set up guys, because once you get better talent around you, you feed off of them, you trust them, and you see it every day in practice. And I think once Cole Anthony see that the talent level is better than what he played in high school and college, because he's at the highest level in the NBA, then he will be able to facilitate. Then he'll be able to see the court a lot better. It's still going to be tough on him just because he is only 6'3". He isn't the biggest and fastest guy. So once they put the longer defenders and the more active defenders on him, he's going to have trouble finding passing lanes, finding scoring lanes, especially if they put a guy that's going to get in them. I think that that's something he's going to have to learn to play against. I think that's something he's going to have to learn in general, just because it is some point guards like Chris Paul, like Patrick Beverly, and it is point guards like DeLonzo's that's taller and more athletic than him that's going to give him a lot of trouble. But that's part of learning. You're gonna fall on your face. You're gonna scratch yourself. It's just a part of the journey of becoming a great player. But the main reason why I like Cole Anthony for the Knicks, and I'm not saying they should take him, but I'm just giving the reason why he's a good fit, and a possible reason why if they don't get in that top five that he'll be a good option for them, is because the fact that they don't really have a point guard. They don't really have a guy that can get you a bucket, a guy that can create his own shot consistently outside of the paint. And Cole Anthony can do those things right now, and that's an element that they need to really open things up offensively and just give them a different look that they don't already have. And I think that's the direction that they should go in. Now, if you don't like Cole Anthony, I like Killian Hayes. He is overseas. He could be a bust to some people, but he's a guy that can go to the basket. He's a guy that's not scared to pull up from three. He's a guy that can really handle the ball and get to his spots too. And that's something that the Knicks need. And it'll help RJ Barrett too, being able to have a guy like Cole Anthony that can shoot the ball, but also get him some backdoor cuts, some passing lanes, so he can get some easy buckets, but also share that dual load of I can do some things, you can do some things, but in the fourth quarter, we need you to just, play off the ball a little bit more. Give RJ Barrett something else to look forward to, a different look for himself, just because in the NBA, RJ Barrett is not going to be the best player on your team if he still cannot shoot and he still cannot get to the basket and finish at a high rate. He's still very raw offensively on the NBA level. He dominated high school, he dominated college, but he's struggling in the league because the guys are faster, bigger, more stronger, and they're more mobile. And that's going to be a struggle for a guy like Cole Anthony too. But you're willing to take that risk because the point guard that you currently have don't offer what Cole Anthony already brings to the table coming out of college. So that will be interesting. Killian Hayes will be interesting for them too, just because, like I said, he's a guy that can really create some offense, and he's a guy that can really switch and make some things different for this team and get them up and, like him and Cole, they can get them running a little bit, let them get out and let them have a little bit more fun, because this is a team that have athletes. This is a team that has bigs that can run, bigs that can knock down some jumpers from time to time, bigs that can finish around that basket, and they got guys that can shoot. They got some shooters that they can put out on the court with a Cole Anthony, with a Barrett that can really give them some space to operate, and they're just going to give them more free flowing offense, because I know that Cole Anthony likes to handle the ball. He likes to make all the plays and make a lot of the decisions. But I'd rather have that than a guy that doesn't want to shoot, a guy that can't shoot, and a guy that doesn't really want to score or pass. And that's what they have right now. So I think the Knicks got to figure out what they're trying to do. The Knicks got to figure out what direction they're going to go. They don't have a great defense. They don't have a great offense. They're not a team that takes the NBA serious enough on a winning level. So they got a lot of things they got to do to turn this thing around. But all you can do talent wise is get somebody that you don't really have and get somebody that can really change your direction of where you at right now. Because with the Knicks at right now, it's not working. The lottery picks is not working. They got to find something. They got to find something to get this thing right. And they might have to let some of these young players go to get somebody that can really fit. But the best part about Cole Anthony is he's a guy that can score on some levels that can really allow him to play with other great players. And he's another guy that can literally play off the ball a little bit more than an Alfred Payton or a Dennis Smith Jr. or a Nina Kina. And those guys are not known as scorers or shooters, which Cole Anthony can bring to the table right now. So let me know what you guys think about Cole Anthony. Let me know what you guys think about Killian Hayes and guys that can really fit in this system. Do you think they should try to go for another scorer, Anthony Edwards? Do you think they should go with the guy with the most upside and, LaMelo Ball? Or do you think they should go with a big? Or, like I said before, if you can't get the guy that you want, just go with best talent available. But if you go with best talent available, they basically got talent at the center position, at the forward position, at the guard positions, besides point. So a lot of this talent got to go somewhere. A lot of this stuff got to start meshing and molding and becoming something. And that's what they don't have right now is identity. And at the same time, they don't even have an offensive style of play. And they don't even have a defensive style of play. And they really don't even make no sense when you look at the roster, how they built it. And we've been saying that for the last 2 years, and it only got worse this year. So at least you can take a step in a different direction and try to rebuild this team. But with new front office, new coach, I really want to see what they do as an organization and what they do in this draft, because this can really be a big year for them. This could be something that can really change the way you think about the Knicks. But then again, I could be crazy and I could be dreaming, just like a lot of New York fans and a lot of New York fans that done went to being a Brooklyn fan or even a fan because they gave up on the Knicks. But this draft has a lot of guys that's not going to be NBA ready. So Cole Anthony, Killian Hayes, they can fit that mold, and other guys can too. But at the same time, the Knicks gonna have to focus on getting back to the playoffs, which they are so very far away from doing still to this day. And Cole Anthony won't be changing that. Neither will Killian Hayes. Neither will none of these top 10 players in this draft. And that's something that Knicks fans got to continue to know. And I'm gonna keep it real with you: is you have no choice right now but to be patient. Even if you do flip these young players into another player that's an all-star caliber player, a guy with huge potential, you still are far away from being a legitimate championship contender and possible playoff team, just because it's a lot of things you have to figure out even outside of the roster to get back on the winning track. But other than that, my name is Quinn. Basketball Analysis is the channel. Analysis Playground is the website. The website will be in the description. Also, my Facebook page is called analysisplayground.com. That will also be in the description. Like on Facebook to show support. Like the video if you show support. If you already liked it, thanks for the love and support. If you do like this channel, I do rebuilding video just like this. And not only that, I do cover the NBA Summer League. I cover the NBA in general, whether it's free preseason, whether it's trade deadline, whether it's free agency, whether it's playoff predictions, or even just covering the NBA every day like I do. So you love the NBA, you like basketball, I make a video every single day. I even break down actual footage of players and rookies as they go throughout Summer League in their NBA season. So if you love basketball, this is the channel for you. Subscribe. Other than that, Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis, I'm gone. And let me know what you guys think about the Knicks, their draft stock, who they should draft. Is Cole Anthony a good pick for them? Or even if they're just done and we just got to see them and terrorize their fans for another 10 years of either mediocrity or just being terrible. But I'm a Celtics fan, so I don't have to worry about that. But I do have love for you Knicks fans. One day y'all going to get it right. Y'all got it right in the 90s. Y'all got it right in the 80s. Maybe y'all can get it right in the 2020s. You never know. That's just hope for y'all.